Good morning, good afternoon, good night, depends what time you're watching this. My name is David Jacobson. I'm with Jim Barry. Hi, Jim.
Good morning.
And this is Inside the Market. Inside the Market is created to really help primarily Porsche buyers and sellers, but also other makes and models that we're actually sprinkling in here to help just give some information that's going to be helpful in making decisions, whether it be the actual car that you're choosing or pricing. This is going to be helpful information that we all were looking for when we were buying our cars. Like, we research and we try to find information. So Inside the Market is brought to you by Pcarmarket Live. We have a Pcarmarket Live YouTube channel. Check out our this is Inside the Market. Our This Is My Car. That's a web series that I talk to owners of cars of different makes and models, and you get a chance to see their personalities, their perspective, their ownership. We drive the cars. Season 2 is going to be started to be produced, Jim, in the next few weeks.
That's exciting.
We're going to make a couple of tweaks. We're going to try to get to some people's collections just to help entertain and educate. And, we love what we do. We love the car hobby. It's in our blood. It's fun, and we just want to make Pcarmarket a destination where you can really get some information and entertainment and buy your car and have a wonderful life. What do you think of that?
Well said.
Well, it's a wonderful life. So we'll get right to it. We are going to focus today on the 996. I'm twisting my head because of this thing. John tells me, don't put this in front of my face, but I have to move it a little bit. So we're going to be talking about today the C4S, the 996, specifically the C4S. It's like many of the other Porsches and other cars that are on the market today. The market has gone somewhat insane. It's been up on certain models of the 996, and it has exploded in other models of the 996 and other Porsches. But we're going to focus on the C4S. We're going to go through some of the auctions that we have had and the results, and we're also going to show some results from another website or two, and then we're going to dig in a little bit on each particular car. How does that sound?
Sounds good.
You have anything you want to say to anyone?
No, other than, we really like these cars, the 996 C4S. We've always liked them.
Yeah.
I've liked them since they were new, and, that's just my kind of car. I like the wide body, normally aspirated cars they've made, and, I like them in the 993s, the 964s, and I like them in these, So,
it's definitely a debatable thing, and for those of you that are watching and maybe looking at the pictures here, John, you could show this first one here. This is an 03 996 4S. And here's the thing with this car: those big air intakes in the front is the turbo, right? Pretty much.
Yeah. And
then the back has those rear quarter, the bumper.
Yeah, it's the turbo rear bumper.
The turbo rear bumper with the vents.
But it has the reflector that none of the other models have.
Yeah.
And most importantly, the 993 was like a turbo without a wing. The S. This is a turbo without a wing in terms of looks.
Yeah.
When you got to the 997, the S, even though they're special, they're not a turbo without the wing. You know what I mean? It doesn't have the turbo bumper and the bump and the rocker panels, and it's a wider body on the four-wheel drive, but they confuse the crap out of everybody because a 2S is not a wide body, but a 4S is, and a 4 non-S is. So if it's four-wheel drive, it's a wide body.
Yes.
If it's two-wheel drive, it's not. So it's very confusing. So this follows that tradition from the M491. Right?
Yes.
So the 993, C2, and C4S, and then this. So it's part of a special lineage, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is. And it has, I always call it an emotional feeling when you see a car like this. If you see a regular Carrera, or even a C4 without the S, it just does not have that dramatic experience. And for those of you that look at this car and get that feeling, we share that, is my brother-in-law went to buy one of these back in 2007, I believe, or 6, right after they came out. And when he pulled up in this car, and I was not a major fan, I don't want to jump on any bandwagons, but I'm going to be honest, I was a little disappointed. I stayed away from the 996 model till we talked about this. When the 997 came out with the wider body, the C4S I purchased, these cars. But when he pulled up in this car, it was, holy crap. It was gorgeous. The present, his was like a gray. I don't know what gray it was. It was a gray one, and it was absolutely gorgeous. So this car has a presence. It has a look for even those that never liked the 996. It's undeniable that this car has appeal. Now, this particular car, this is what we want to get into today. And before I get into the typical, what we normally do is I'm going to do something else that's typical, and please don't get upset with me, but it's resonating. I heard it's resonating, Jim. You've had people that have come to you and said, David said, worry about those pictures. David said, worry about, the angles and the sun and the, look at the pictures here. Now, these are not the greatest pictures as far as
depicting condition.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's not. Oh, there are pictures in here that will depict condition.
Yeah.
You need to do that. You need to be honest and real. But talk about looking at a car and just getting your mouth waters. Look at the photos of this car. And this is, first of all, let's talk about a couple of things. Please, no matter what you do, if you care, everyone seems to care about the money they're getting for their car because they're reserves. They fight for every nickel and dime they can, and rightfully so. I would do the same thing. But when it comes down to the actual auction, the photos are the most important frontline tool you have to make your car stand out and to get every dollar possible. And then on top of that, you have obviously your ability to respond and engage with the sellers. So please, no matter what you do, get those photos, get help, pay for the photos. The $200 or $300 or $400, or in some cases, we have someone that's not putting their car up until they get this photo shoot. It's going to cost him at least $1,500 to $2,000, and he will get that back, this particular car, no doubt. Spend the money. Presentation is everything. Do not disappear after your car goes live. Answer the questions. We'll help you in any way we can, and to walk you through any concerns you have about responding. Some people are like, oh, I don't know what to do. We'll help. We'll help. We will never respond for you, and we'll never put words in your mouth, but we will help you to articulate, how to communicate. And believe it or not, some people have a difficult time with that.
Yeah.
So without further ado, so please forgive me for that rant again, but get those pictures, and you'll see why. Look at this car. First of all, we always talk about another thing. Please understand the disparity in the prices of these cars are greatly affected by color. This is almost like a disclaimer for like a rated R movie. Please understand, mature audiences only. These cars are greatly affected by color. Greatly affected. White on a 996 is a big deal. If a white car has a gray interior, it is not a big deal compared to a white car with a black interior. I don't care what your taste is. You want to battle with me right now?
No, you're right.
People
confuse their taste for
For what?
For the reality.
For the reality.
Yeah,
I like the way you said that. I like the way you said that. For reality. It's undeniable when you see something and you want to own it or you have to own it compared to looking at it and moving on. It is as simple as a contrasting interior, the right interior with the right color and so forth. So look at this. Here we have 2003. This car ended, it would have been maybe 2 days when this thing goes live. 03 996 C4S, $45,500. So all in about $48,000 for 73,000 mile car, 73,000 mile car. Lightly modified with H&R springs, but the car sits beautiful. It has the factory turbo twist wheels. The presentation was killer. The seller was engaged. The IMS was done. In fact, all these cars we're going to talk about here today, the IMS was done so we can compare apples to apples. But Jim, what was your thoughts on this car, and why did it, in your opinion, really probably surpass everyone's expectations?
Well, besides what you said about the photos and the presentation and the seller himself, because he was a good seller, it's the rarity of the color.
Look at that.
Like I like silver. I know silver is your favorite color, but whether you like silver or don't like silver or like black or don't like black, the majority of these cars that you see are black and silver. That's just all there is. So when you get something that's not black or silver, it moves out of that normality in the market, and then in that pool. You have special colors, guards red, white, speed yellow. I mean, certain cars are going to, even surpass.
Why are you saying guards red?
Guards red on a C4S, you don't really see either. I mean, even though it's like on the older cars, it could almost take a hit on a value, like on a 930 or a G-body, because they're all red.
Yeah.
But on a 996 C4S, think about it. I don't even know if we've ever had a red one on yet.
Yeah, that's great information, by the way, because that's very confusing. When we had the Haggerty, John Weil from Haggerty, he said that it was very popular, and one of the most in-demand colors was Guards Red. And when you're looking at it from an SC or a 930 Turbo or that, you're right, it's like, oh my goodness, who wants that car? That's got to be the least valued of all of them. Mm-hmm. But he was saying that generally in the big scope of things is that the Guards Red is a big deal. Mm-hmm. And I agree. If this car's Guards Red, you're not...
And for me personally, I like the later cars in the Guards Red. I like the 991s. I mean, listen, there's one that always stuck with me. One of the only times I've ever made a mistake when buying cars, I was at a Mannheim auction in Palm Beach back in 06.
Right.
And it was when the 997s first came out, and this Guards red Carrera with the lobster claw wheels came through. It had like 500 miles. And I'm bidding on it, and I'm bidding on it, and I won the car. I didn't realize it was an ~05. I'm looking at the book. I paid like an '06 price for it.
Oh, my goodness.
So needless to say, I had it for a while, but I did okay. We sold it, and we got out of it. But I just stared at it every day. It was in front of my office in a showroom. And I just loved the Guards red on that car, but on the old ones, it does nothing for me.
It does nothing. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, unless you paint the hood black and it's faded and you put, black wheels on.
We'll show my car. He's making fun of me. But so the car has some wear on it. I mean, but it obviously resonated with people. It has that white tunnel painted to the outside color. I have to tell you, this car, you know the way I felt about this car. Mm-hmm. When it was coming towards the end, I said, this car is going to go because it is so beautiful to look at. So congratulations to both the buyer and seller. There's something to put in your book there. This car, 73,000 mile, 996 C4S, great white and black color combination.
And that white tunnel, by the way.
That's what I'm saying. I did. You weren't listening to me.
I'm sorry.
Again, he doesn't listen. He fades off every once in a while. That's what I said. It absolutely has an incredible, dramatic presence in the interior.
And what's nice on these 4Ss, I don't think I've ever seen one without the leather on the dash. I know you probably can order it that way, but it seems like almost all of these, or a good chunk of them, are ordered with the leather on the dash, the leather on the doors, and that kind of throws out all the complaints people have about the build quality on a 996, because in my opinion, if you get a 996 with a full leather interior, with the right upgrades, it's actually debatable that it's a better interior quality than the .1 997s.
Really?
Yeah, because the .1 997s, all the buttons peel and stuff like that. It's the early 996s that people had complaints with.
Yeah, and that's a very important fact. It was the early ones that were issues, and I have a big issue with those because you feel like you're not even in a Porsche when you start to feel and see the deterioration of the interior.
Like, but anyway, feel expensive.
They
when
do.
You're sitting in them.
They do.
They don't feel cheap.
This is a win-win, lovely car, and I want to move on here for the sake of time. So that's put that in your book. Yep. Next over here we have is another one that's sold on Pcarmarket. These are all recent sales, couple of days, a week, whatever. And this one here is a 03 996, pretty much the same deal, right? Okay,
yeah, same type of mileage.
71,000 mile C4S. Here it is, same car. The difference, you want to nitpick over here, right? Look at this. This one has the Sport Techno wheels. The other one had the factory turbo twists, and this one has the IMS done as well, as I mentioned, and it's black with the dreaded gray interior. I'm sorry.
Oh, this one has gray?
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone. Forgive my honesty. Listen, this car is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It is fun. But man, oh man, can you imagine if this car had a red interior?
Oh, forget it.
Or if it had a cocoa interior? Yeah. This is what I mean. If this car sold for $32,750, pretty much almost the same car as the white one at $47,000. So it's almost $11,000, $12,000.
I like this price better though.
Well, listen. Don't kill the messenger here. Color is everything, all things being equal. IMS, condition, everything being equal, mileage.
Now, these are very close cars.
These are very close cars, but when you look at that car, it is dramatic. It looks it looks expensive. It's rich looking. And, if you don't care and you just want to get a really nice car value-wise, then hey, listen, this car is gorgeous.
Listen, there's also a valid argument too that, because we know this, as much as we're sitting here trying to make sense out of this for everybody, a lot of it is up to chance too. It's just a matter of how many people wanted that car yesterday versus how many people wanted this car.
I don't know, Jim. Listen, I'm going to be.
No, but we've seen things that don't make sense.
No. Yeah. There are always things that don't make sense. Right. What I'm saying to you is, when you see that white one next to this one sitting in a parking lot, you're going to look at that car and drool over the white one, and you're going to look at this car and you're going to say, that's beautiful. Right. There's no lose here. And the buyer here spent $10,000, $12,000 less because the color was not as dramatic. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. No. Okay? And you know what? Some people would say, I'll take this all day long for the difference in the money. Or some people would say, I would spend the extra money because that's the way I am. I want that feeling, that special feeling. And there's a person that hates white, which, by the way, is me. And I still love that car. That's to me, how amazing that car is. So, you could say I get a little emotional about this stuff because it draws emotion. This is a gorgeous car, but look at the difference in the pricing, Jim. I think directly related to emotion and color.
Yeah.
Do you not? Do
No,
you not
I agree. The other one's worth more. It's just hard to say if the difference between these two is the exact difference, because you could do the whole thing over again, and this could have done 34, and that could have done 42. Or I mean, the other one's definitely worth more. But there was a lot more interest in that car for that reason. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So that's all.
Yep. So there you go. So now you have two 2003 996 C4Ss within this low 70,000 mile range. One for 47,000. One for like 33,000. Wow, what a difference. Okay, what a difference a color makes. Next we have here.
Low mileage.
Now we're going a little lower mileage, and I love silver. I look at this car and I love silver, but I'm going to tell you again. First of all, if you look back at those majestic photos of this white one, it just, you see the blurred background. Pictures mean everything. Spend the money on the pictures. Look at this. This car with this photo shoot is worth $3,000 to $5,000. In my opinion, because you're going to draw somebody out that has to own that. Okay, that's the reality. I'm sorry. Okay, so, but these are very good photos. They're beautiful cars. I am in love with silver. This car is a silver black.
This is a silver gray.
Oh, this is a silver gray. Again, silver black to me is a more expensive car than a silver gray.
Yeah,
okay, it's just the way it is. So here you go. 25,000 mile C4S, Jim. Everything done, IMS. This one has the anything special about this car other than no? Okay, it has the IMS.
It's nice. The mileage is exceptionally low, which is nice to a lot of people.
25,000 miles.
Yep.
And when you
it
see
has that gray interior, and he had the foresight to put the black mats in. That makes a big difference on this car.
Yeah, I don't want
It does.
It does. You put black mat. You have to do that because this is what they did. The gray up here. If you put even a black dashboard would have changed this car.
We had a car here once a long time ago. It was a turbo, and now Tom owns it. From Northport.
Yeah.
It had a special ordered gray interior with deviated. So the bottom of the dash was black. The carpet on the bottom of the doors was black. The carpets were black. And it just changed the whole car. And then the vents were painted to match the outside of the car.
Incredible.
It was really cool.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it was really cool.
You put a black dashboard on this car, maybe a deviated car. I don't know, man.
But still, you could change the steering wheel, the shifter. The floor mats are already done. And
the dashboard,
it makes a big difference.
It does, but if the dashboard was black, it's a game changer. You just got to tone this gray down. But here, I don't want to beat anyone up over here, and I get mostly love emails. A couple of times I get an angry person because we don't see eye to eye. But look at this. Look over here. Can you see over here? Look at the photos. Look at this picture and look at this picture, this picture, and this picture. This doesn't affect the price of the car.
Yeah, it does.
Okay, that's why we're here to educate and help people. I need people to see this. Someone is looking at this listing, and it looks like you're putting two different cars up here. Okay, look at this picture and this picture. Look at this. It looks like a different car. Now this here is not this car makes the car look nice. This picture, it's fine, but it's just all over the place. Different colors, the car looks different. Anyway, so you got me. But this car sells for, with 25,000 miles, it sells for less money.
No, this is $1,500 more.
It sells for it sells for pretty much the same money, $1,500 less than a 73,000 mile example. Why? Photos and color. I don't know if I'm not going to get into the engagement of the seller right now if he answered questions, because ultimately that's going to either sell your car or not. People won't buy a car from someone that doesn't make them feel comfortable. But please look at this. Please look at the photos. The color is what it is. You can't change the color of your car, so you're going to have to deal with the money disparity, the difference in that. But the photos and, right, I just want to beat that to death. Anyway, so that's that. Again, same price, $1,500 difference, 73,000 mile, white, beautiful photos, silver with a gray interior, does with 25,000 miles. Next car. Now watch how interesting this is. The same car with 4,000 more miles, right?
But still in the same range.
Same range, same car. Okay, now we have a silver car with a gray interior. Now we have a silver car with a black interior.
The clutch and the IMS were just done on that.
Okay, and the photos. Yep. The photos. Look at the photos. Look at the photos. I'm sorry. John, did that blow the speakers out? Okay. You see what I'm talking about here? Mm-hmm. You got $5,000 for the black interior and the photos. We're doing the write-ups. We're interviewing people. We're getting information based on what they say. We're doing the most truthful, honest, straightforward write-up possible. The pictures are the pictures, and you don't have to do it yourself. You can get somebody to do it for you. Anyway, this car sells for almost $55,000. $52,500 all in. All right. So, but you get $4,000 to $5,000. You got $5,000 more almost, right? Mm-hmm. Okay. So, and you can. It speaks for itself here. But what are we finding? What are we learning here? What is the most important takeaway here?
The things that hasn't made sense to me over the years that is making sense when you get a car with some miles on it, but people get to meet the seller via the comments and they see the car sorted and maintained and loved, it doesn't seem to put a damper on the price. You know, when you have two cars that are just have no paperwork, nothing, you know, the lower mile car will always trump it. But you know, I've seen this happen time and time again. Where it was like when Adam bought his 996.
Right.
We watched one sell on another website a week later with 3 times the miles for what he paid for his car. You know what I mean? Yeah. But his car was beautiful. It still is.
Yes.
But that car was just, you know, the guy. First of all, I remember it like it was yesterday. The guy did an amazing photo shoot on it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you mentioned that. The photos are important. And you could just tell the guy drove the car, took care of it, and people like a car that's exercised and not sitting around like you know, collecting dust, flat spots in the tires, and so on and so forth. So that's one of the lessons here too, besides the color. You know,
there's a lot of lessons here, and we just want to help people maximize their value. We get excited when a car is presented well and it's on the site. Mm-hmm. We get very excited. Yeah. And then everything else is subjective, right? The color, the whatever, it's all subjective. But put the best thing forward that you possibly can. The
bottom line is these cars are still cheap, in my opinion. You know what I mean? Well, you know, for what you're getting, they're a huge value. I
think value is the key word. Yeah. Cheap is, but it's subjective. But yeah, the value is still there on these.
Yeah, they are. I mean, listen, go and do car shopping. What can you get for $40-something thousand? You know what I mean? It's, you know,
with this thrill, that's not going to wind up dropping 30%. Can you imagine people? Oh, what a great, we'll talk about that on another show. Anyway, here's one more we're going to give you right here. This over here is from Bring a Trailer. This is a 2003, just to give you another comp over here. This is, again, you look at the photos, I mean, I don't even know what kind of car it is. It's all blacked out over here, you know. And by the way, the car only did $38,000 here, right? So this car was... So
this is like, say, 40 with the fee and everything.
What was the... I'm trying to find it. So this car has 71,000 miles, right?
So this falls right in the middle of R2.
It falls right in the It falls right in the middle there. Again, you know, black, you don't see anything here. You know, it's just very, very difficult.
That interior is crisp on that car.
Yeah, this car. Listen to me, this car...
And it has a lot of carbon.
And it has a lot of carbon? Yeah. Okay, I didn't see that.
And it's not cracked, which is nice.
Yeah, so
the steering wheel,
but I'm sorry, this car did well.
It did well.
It did well, despite these photos, because it was a nice car.
Yeah, it was.
Sometimes you look at something and you say, oh, you know, like we have a seller who will remain nameless that won't give us photos in a certain, he'll keep his photos that are okay. And we said, if you bring your photos up to another level, you'll make more money. And he won't do it because he keeps having success. He doesn't know that this is success when he could have this success. Mm-hmm. And he's accepting it, and he's okay with it because he doesn't want to be inconvenienced to take better pictures. So we're going to say for the individual, even for the dealers, spend the extra time. This car did well, but could have done definitely better. Definitely left $3,000 to $4,000 on the table with the mileage. Okay, with the mileage, because silver with a black interior, with you, like you said, with what's in this car, it seems like a nice vehicle. It should have done. I believe it should have done more money and would have with better photos. Yep. Okay.
That's it.
I think that's it.
That's it.
That's what you call a short take. All right. Now, before we go, just real quickly, I want to just say thank you to someone, Jeff Rosen. Jeff was so kind. We ran into him. I think we ran into him at an event, and he says, "I'm going to drop something off to you guys." And he brought this in, which was really. Can you see this, John? You know, very, very cool. Out of license plates, he made this. He cut up, and it says Pcarmarket, and you see all of the different states that it represents. And we're going to keep this. In fact, he dropped it off to Brad when I wasn't here, and Brad doesn't want to let it go. So we're going to put it back in Brad's office. And thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeff. And we accept gifts. We accept gifts. If they're not ticking and they don't have a smell to them, we accept gifts. But no, all kidding aside, that was very, very kind, and we appreciate it. We have a Cars and Coffee. I sound like I'm from Boston. We have a Cars and Coffee this weekend. That if you're in the what's today? Wednesday.
Today's Wednesday.
You're going to see this before the Cars and Coffee. It's going to be at our headquarters, Pcarmarket headquarters in Oyster Bay, New York. If you're within the sound of my voice, come on down from 8 to 11. We're going to have our first one in a while. Actually, it's the first one as Pcar actually ever.
No, we had one really early.
Oh, really early. Okay, yeah. And then so check that out. Check out This Is My Car, thisismycar.com. John will put it up, boom, right at the bottom. And then we're going to also, one other thing. Oh, Driven to America. Everyone knows one of the largest Porsche events in the country or in the world is actually happening October 3rd. In Mill Neck, New York, which is one of the most beautiful pieces of property you'll ever see. Hundreds and hundreds of Porsches, thousands of people, food, entertainment. It's a big deal, and it's a fun day for the Porsche world. And Pcarmarket is going to have a special corral, a special VIP parking where if you have a BMW or a Lamborghini or Ferrari or a Mercedes, any enthusiast vehicle, that you can actually park on the show property and display your car off the main Gatsby display. But so check that out. It's driventoamerica.com. John, pop it right here. Doop. Okay, good.
That's it.
All right, Jim. Thank you very much.
Always.
John, thank you, and stay safe, everyone. Thank you for watching Inside the Market. We'll see you on the next episode.